Okay, it's time to start putting this 1930s Kalamazoo wood stove back together. Hello, and welcome to our channel. We're glad you're here. Okay, reassembly time. Here's our kind of a game plan. These two pieces are the back, so we'll assemble those. That is the left side, we'll assemble that, and then we will put those up on the base. We're going to assemble the joints with this furnace cement in a caulking tube, so hopefully this will work well. We'll run it down this joint first, bolt these two together, run it across this end, bolt that piece on, and then shoot it around the bottom of the base and put them on the base. We'll see how it goes. Okay, some of the preliminary assembly is done. We've got both sides on, the back panel on. This oven wall and this bulkhead wall are just sitting there temporarily. Main reason being, the bolt I have for there is too short, so I need to get a longer bolt to go in there. But both these panels fit well. We've test fit the oven bottom, the oven wall on this side, and the top of the oven. They all seem to fit pretty good. The top rides a little high right here in the middle, so we're going to grind just a little bit of this wall off when we grind these bolt heads off, and we should be good to go. So things are looking good so far. As we progress, we'll keep you updated. Okay, we got the bulkhead, but we had the missing bolt. It's installed, and this little baffle plate down here is installed. When the oven runs, the heat comes across the top of the oven, down this baffle this bulkhead between the outside of the oven wall and here, down underneath, and then this is designed to bring the heat around the front of the oven and out the flue. So those are installed. We're going to put the other oven side in. We got all those extra bolts ground down. Get that bolted in, get the oven top, side, and bottom in, and maybe get the front on tonight. So there's where we are so far. Oh, the extra noise?
Oh, goodness.
We've got the puppies over here next to where we're working. Okay, we're making some pretty good progress. The front is not on. It's only there to help keep the oven aligned in its proper position. But the oven is completely together. Both sides, the top and the bottom. Doesn't fit perfect, but definitely better than it was when we bought it. So we'll let the oven sit overnight because it's got the sealer all the way around it, and we're kind of short on bolts again, so I need to get some more bolts. And we took the things out. I got new bolts and had no idea what the number was to get, so I just grabbed random amounts. So we'll get the new bolts and start putting it back together tomorrow. It looks pretty good. It's coming along. So we'll keep you informed. Okay, we have a small detour here from the main stove itself. We're still working on that over there. But we took the warming rack apart, the warming oven that goes above the main stove, and cleaned it up, and once again Paul painted all the back sides of the doors and everything that it's not near fire. But we have an interesting development here. I hope the camera can pick this up. We have a date of 1930 on the doors and also on the door frames of the warming oven. So apparently this is a 1930 stove, which is the first we found dates at all anywhere in it. But here's all the piece parts cleaned up and painted and ready to go back together for the warming oven. I'll get these assembled and then show a little video of that. Okay, we got the warming oven all put back together. Just open one of the doors there. Can't put the legs or the back on it right now because the legs sit on the top here and the back panel goes behind the top, so it wouldn't be very stable to have this sitting there right now. But the way this goes on, got these like little tower things sticking up. I'm not sure you can see this here. There's a large hole in the warming oven and 2 large holes in the side of the back. Those holes go on these posts. Now it takes these special like domed washers that go over top of the post and hold down on the sheet metal. Well, we're missing a few of those. I did a little research and I found these. These are actually for a Ludwig snare drum. I'm not sure exactly what they do with the snare drum, but it's the closest thing I could find. They are a little shorter than the originals, but I've taken a 1/2 inch lock washer and squeezed it in a vise to get it to not be springy anymore. And when you put the 2 of those together, it's almost exactly the same thickness as the other ones. I'm going to have to grind just a little bit off the edge. When I try and install them here, they hit this lip a little bit. But if I grind just a hair off the one side, they should fit right down in. And then that piece can go on, the screw can go in there and clamp it down. So we'll show you that again when we actually put this warming oven on the stove itself. We'll be back probably tomorrow trying to get the rest of the stove put together. So we'll continue there. Okay, I know it doesn't look a whole lot different from what it did before we showed the warming oven section, but you'll notice the clamps are not on the top anymore. We have removed the entire front face, put the gasket, putty, whatever, sealer stuff around all the joints, and we've got it all bolted together. There's our sealer across the top of the oven. That bead stayed nice and clean. We've got sealer down both sides, across the bottom, and the whole way around the oven. So the top, or the face, is on. We'll be able to pull these 2 boards out now and actually set the top down inside the base and start working on the firebox and some of the accessories that go on it. So we're making some progress now. Okay, we're getting it back together pretty well here. The body is completely reassembled. We've got both the front doors on. Got the oven door on. We've got the replacement spring on. It's not super springy, but we're kind of afraid to put a whole lot of tension since we had to weld that hinge bracket here in the corner. So we don't want to have a lot of tension on it and end up breaking that corner back off. Now down in here, try and turn this flashlight down a little. There's a pretty good gap around this grate, and the little bit of instructions I can find on this, it says where the grates are right now is for when you're burning coal, and the way the grates are up like that is to burn wood. And you can see there's I can fit my flashlight down in between the sides here, and there's like a notch there and a notch there. There's a hole on both sides underneath. It looks like we're missing some kind of a grate on each side in this firebox, which is probably why this side of the oven was in such bad shape. Apparently the previous owners must have somehow removed or lost or broken those grates or plates or whatever is supposed to be in here, and was just burning, probably with the grates down like that, burning wood or whatever they're burning in here, and the fire was much larger than it should have been. So we're going to fabricate something on each side to minimize the heat hitting both this side of the outside of the oven, or the stove unit, and where we've had to repair the oven that was in such bad shape. I'd already planned on putting a plate in here, but I didn't realize this side was also missing something. So we'll fabricate something to go in there. Obviously can't do that tonight. We're probably going to go ahead and finish cleaning up all of the top pieces, but we can't install those until this is done because they're going to be in the way of getting whatever baffles we make to put in here. We still can't put the warming oven on because the top surface has to be on, but we can put the flue section on the back and probably get the chimney hooked up. So we'll do some cleanup work and keep you updated. Okay, we've decided to actually kind of end this video early and do a part 2 on the assembly. The reason being, if you can see here on our chimney hole, that cutting clamp is about in the center of the chimney hole, and there's the center of our flue outlet on the stove. We didn't realize that it's not centered on the stove. It's off to the left a little bit, so we're going to have to move the entire stove assembly to the left, and also we're only about 10 inches off the wall, 9 to 10 inches, and we should be at least 12, so we're going to move it away from the wall as well. Now we're sitting on the old pool table slate piece, so we're going to have to move the stove off the slate, move the slate out and over, which is going to put a gap at the wall. So we're going to have to bring the other section of the old pool table in and cut it. That's why we got that clamp for a straight edge. We're going to cut the one that's outside and place it down here, and then cut this one to fill the gap, because I'm not sure if I ever covered it or not, but this one's got a crack in it that we did epoxy, but we're afraid if we start moving this around it's going to end up breaking again, so we're just going to use this as the filler piece in the back. We're also going to put shingles, old slate barn shingles, on the wall for a heat shield. So once we get this moved, we'll do a second video of moving the slate and cutting the slate and probably putting the slate on the wall, and then finish assembling the wood stove. So that's where we're at now. We're still probably 80% assembled, and as soon as we put that back on and tried to put the flue pipe on, we realized, oh no, we got to move the whole thing. So once we get our ducks in a row here to get this stuff moved and get the slate moved, we'll pick up the video there. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Please thumbs up and subscribe. Have a good day.